Okay, here is another update of the ATK 406. As you can see, it's a beautiful day. I got it basically all back together and I rolled it outside so that I could finally put my graphics on the tank, which I've been waiting forever to get these things on. Graphics, there's not really many options for these bikes, and these were all custom made. As far as the stuff that you see on the tank, and then also on the rear fender, and then down here on the swing arm. The swing arm is actually the original sticker that should have been on there, but because it was a blue swing arm, I had to have the colors inverted. But up here on the tank, man, I'm so happy with how that turned out, because it's an air-cooled bike. There's not a lot of real estate to be putting a graphic up here. But because of the airbox, it gives it a little bit of a look of a water-cooled bike that has a shroud. So I really wanted some kind of big, loud and proud graphic like they would have had on other bikes back in '89 in this era. So that was kind of my brainchild. I also feel like this was a better way to work in the red, white, and blue theme, as opposed to just bombing out the frame in blue. And I just have to say, I could not be happier with how that turned out. Blue Line Graphics did them. Contact Bruce if you're interested. It took quite a while to get that designed, but he should be able to crank them out. The trick was I had to cut right in between the middle there to, make it go across that transition. I also didn't know that these were perforated. If you can see those little teeny tiny diagonal slits, he did perforate these graphics, and I didn't know that when I was looking at them through the contact, the transfer paper. I couldn't tell, so I devised a method to punch my own holes in the at least the gas tank part. Probably didn't have to do that, but then again, I guess it's just a little extra precaution to make sure the graphics don't bubble. Fender decal I think turned out pretty cool. An old 80s retro font, and it fits on these Acerbis Nost fenders pretty well. So on this side, you don't have as much real estate because you don't have the airbox hanging off here. So that's the exact same decal, it's just shrunk down a little bit smaller. I want to say that's about 9 inches. The other side is closer to 12. But man, I really like how, if you look at the way the stripe and the 406 go into the ATK, it's all on the same kind of plane, and it just follows along through the ATK. So, I mean, it looks good and symmetrical. The placement on the tank looks pretty good on both sides. I could have raised the decal on the right a little bit, but then I think it would have just looked a little weird to have so much red underneath it on this side. It's just a function of two different size decals. But yeah, I mean, this is something I've been thinking about for a year. It took him a while to get the graphics made. It took me even longer to get them on the bike because I wanted everything mocked up to make sure it's exactly where I want it. And then, of course, I got some WP 4054 decals. I don't think these would have come on an ATK, but they would have come on Huskies and some other bikes that use this exact same fork. And I just think, because the color's right, it's got white and red, that it would look awesome on here. So where I am now is I ran into an issue with the engine. I was going to try to fire this up about a week ago, and the drain plug was stripped, and when I finally got it out, I broke it, and then I thought I was good enough to weld it back together, and then it broke again. So I'm just waiting for a drain plug now so that I can put some oil in it. Then it's ready to fire. I've got the carburetor on. If I put oil in it, the engine I didn't really touch. The pipe's mounted, airbox has the air filter in it, throttle cable, all that works. So I promise you in the next video you'll be able to hear it. I may not be able to ride it yet because my pegs are not bolted down. I think I need to grind those holes out a little bit and reposition this way to that way. Then I want to polish those mounts and try to zinc coat them. So I'd like to get all that finalized. You can see the bolts that run through. There's not even any nuts holding those in, so you probably wouldn't want to ride like that. I also do not have my rear brake lever on. And the shifter, I think, is just a little too long. Looks like it's going to catch on things. That mark is kind of where I think I'm going to chop it and try to, bring it in about an inch. I don't know. Not totally convinced that that's going to work out. But there's just some little odds and ends that I need to fix. But it's getting real close. So, thanks for watching, guys. Peace.